And tomorrow, we can officially add 2 more Broncos to the Hall of Fame. Champ Bailey and Pat Bowlen will be inducted tomorrow. And we will have highlights from that ceremony tomorrow night right here on Denver 7. Now, Bowlen was known to people all over the world as a Broncos icon, Mr. B for short. But to his grandkids, he was Grumps. Sort of loving grandfather you'd want in your life. I sat down with his daughter, Beth, who wanted Broncos country to know about her dad and the depth of his love for you, the fans.
He's the best leader I've ever known.
You know Pat Bowlen, the owner.
Come on, Johnny!
The man in the fur coat. The man with the ice blue eyes. What was he like as a dad?
My dad was hands-on. He had an incredible sense of humor, a wonderful laugh. He raised me and he, had rules and he had expectations.
That's no surprise for a man who always made it known he was in it to win.
This is Super Bowl 50. I wear it for special events because if I'm talking about my dad, it makes me feel a little bit closer to him.
Beth is Pat Bowlen's second child, who along with her 2 brothers and 4 sisters, is with the team in Canton celebrating their father.
This one's for Pat!
Under his watch, the Broncos made 7 Super Bowl trips. Beth was there at every one. And again in January with all the Bowlen kids when they got the knock on the door.
We are honored to tell you that your father is going to live in Canton, Ohio.
We had planned, we're going to say this one's for Pat. Just like Super Bowl 50. John got to say, this one's for Pat.
Beth and her oldest sister, Amy, grew up in Hawaii with their mother, Sally, Pat's first wife. That was before the Broncos.
He came every year for his parenting time, and that parenting time stretched out to be 6 months of the year. What he loved so much about Hawaii is that he could just be himself, and it was such a laid-back environment. He worked every day from there, but it was just a culture and an environment that spoke to his heart.
Even then, Pat was the ultimate competitor, a triathlete, and loved canoe surfing.
His competitiveness, wanting to surf the biggest waves, even if he wasn't the youngest, most prolific paddler out there. He wanted to be on the biggest waves.
Here he is with Beth's son Nalu, whose name in Hawaiian means wave, in tribute to her father.
We did a lot of canoe surfing together. We ran. I would go on some away games with him, and we'd, put on our tennis shoes, and I'd have to kind of gear up for that because it was never a run with my father. It was a sprint.
He was a dedicated dad who gave away Beth twice. This picture from her second marriage, and loved his grandkids, who fondly called him Grumps, who all watched his battle with Alzheimer's, a toll that was tough on this very private family.
I was in the office with him, the last 4 years that he spent there, and I feel protective over those moments, and still like to try to keep those to myself because I feel protective of his dignity through that process. It was as tough as losing him, a month ago, that diagnosis.
Much has been made about what now for the Bowlens and who will control the team.
I think there's been a misrepresentation of the family. I think the passing of my dad, I think the Hall of Fame, the knock on the door, shows genuinely what this family, how we care and love and feel about one another. So the Hall of Fame has brought us that. My dad's passing has just further galvanized this family together, realizing that no one person's ever going to fill the shoes.
Do you want the team to stay with the Bowlen family?
Oh, I would think my dad would want that very much.
For now, the family's just taking it all in, knowing this Broncos legend will forever be remembered in bronze.
No doubt, in Canton, Ohio, this one's for Pat. This one's for Denver. This one's for all the fans, too. And the people that have stood by him as an owner and that have recognized what an incredible leader he was.
Boy, and he loved the fans.
Well, what sweet insight into that family.
Lovely.
Oh, that was great, Ann. Thank you.
And tomorrow we will get our first look at the bronze busts for Pat Bowlen and Champ Bailey when they are formally inducted into the Hall of Fame.
And our sports team's in Canton, Ohio for the ceremony, so make sure to follow Denver 7 on Facebook and on Twitter. We will post plenty of highlights from the big day.